Mhm. Reset track. Ooh. Mhm. Mhm. Alright. Wanna go first, or you want to? Okay. Alright. We saw this last week, but we see its Verdon tank. We have using Yapper, sorry, with Dino Dan, Hades as we called him last time for DPS, and then for supports we have Cloud Lemon and Badger. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, but mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it's just a basic map. You can play a little bit of everything on this map. I feel like it's pretty easy to play a default composition, so it's like a good map to lean towards if you're trying to play a certain team comp. Because you can kind of play like all of them. Play a little poke, little brawl, little dive. It's a good like mix of Overwatch, if you will. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I don't exactly know why they banned the Orisa. I think the Lunar Eclipse obviously does play Orisa. They played it a few times in their last series. I do think there are better. I think honestly you could have banned look towards a different role maybe because a map like Busan, I feel like it's somewhat not necessarily hard or easy, I should say, but I feel like it isn't the most complicated thing to work against the Orisa on Busan. So I do wonder what team comp they would play. Maybe like a ball comp. I don't really know much about Andromeda at all, so just kind of making assumptions. As for Lunar Eclipse, they banned the Freya, which I do understand why, especially with what they were playing last week. I do think Freya just, get out the way. I mean, he's also just a good character overall. A little versatile, can do, it all. So get rid of it early, though I do fear that this is gonna bite them because they banned it so early on when you could have waited, like map 3 or 4 when, the map counts really start to matter when one team's in match point. They banned the Freya really early, so I'm not gonna go for them, but I guess we'll see as we go. Yeah, probably possibly. Oh, great. Also, it isn't broken though. It's Ludacris's team comp. We saw this last week. Down Dan's Reaper was final. I mean, it was basically the final boss that, Dead or Rival just could not get through. So I wonder if it's gonna be the same thing this time. Andromeda, Spiral, their team comp's kind of basic. It's pretty solid. The Soldier Genji, Ram, good sustain, good mobility. It's good, it's a good versatile team comp. Yeah, I also do think too though, the Ram Soldier Genji, I feel like a lot of mobility, and I feel like Daniel's got a bit of an issue trying to clear that space and get close and do his damage without worrying about, just them sliding away or dashing away or something like that. Yeah, and I do think a lot of that just went down to I feel like their understanding of space and understanding a team comp. I feel like the Soj Genji, they made it really difficult for Dan to play, and I feel like it's really all you have to do is just make it so the Reaper cannot TP on anything. They constant pressure. They didn't give the front line, even though the front line is kind of worse than Lunar Eclipse is. I don't think they gave up the space. They held their space and they gave us space when they should have, and they poked out the entire time, which made it really difficult. I mean, as we saw, Donovan just he couldn't get anything to go, just constant pressure and just getting picked off in these fights. And I feel like that's a really good mental starter for Spiral because you start 100-0 onto a point that does benefit you though. So now going to these points where it gets a bit more close distance, it's easier for Dino Dan and Vert to find value. I do wonder if it's going to get a bit more difficult. Though first round was still really good. And even though Raptor is playing its team comp that has a lot more damage in the front line, they are not afraid to get in there and get mixy still. And it's showing a lot because on that first fight, especially like finding the opening pick on Yapper, like it's good that you're not afraid to show aggression against a team comp that has more aggression in you. I mean, it's again that aggression. And because of that aggression, they're farming ultimates too. Like look at the support ults, for example. Lunar Moon and Dorcas being 30% over, 20 to 30% over the counterparts. That's a really good start into this fight because they're gonna need as much time that Lunar Eclipse needs to fit these ults and start into the fight. And we see Daniel switch to Hanzo, which I don't agree with because now they don't have as much aggression. They're forced to play less passive and rely on poke, even though they have Zarya, they have a bubble target, but no one can really get bubbled outside of Vert themselves. So I mean, you see this aggression, just walking in, being aggressive. Mountain was even dominant. I mean, they didn't lose a fight. They won every fight there, and it was mainly because honestly, Raptor was playing really aggressive and giving their team the constant, basically constant space the entire game for the DPS to find picks in those eliminations that they were finding. But a lot of that was honestly up to their tank. Just again, like I said, just being aggressive, finding openings, and overall just not being afraid of matching this front line. And having that confidence and that stability with and trust, honestly, but not just your supports, but also with your DPS to be able to use the space that you're getting is really important and really strong going to the second map. And I look at Lunar Clips on the other side of them. I mean, last series we saw they did start kind of slow, really slow, as a matter of fact, against Dead on Arrival. So maybe it's kind of the same pattern, but I do wonder because at least from last time it was a little bit closer. That was not close at all. That was a complete, it was a one-sided map, and so I do worry if the slow start might not benefit them. I feel like you can't start slow against Spiral at the moment because they're on fire. Mm. I mean, I honestly think one of their best bets might be to go towards a more. I think I said this. I think we said this. Or I said this last series with these guys. But I think just go towards a map that's more front to back that allows you to kind of just brawl straight to their face instead of a map that like relies on angles. So maybe like a Kings Row or a New Junk City, a Runasapi maybe. I know you played last time and it worked, so maybe do that again. But I do think though you lean towards a map that you can play without worrying about angles and having to contest them. Just being able to run down on your opponents just in a straight line, I feel like might benefit Lunatic, especially when I'm running like this Reaper Zarya duo. You really don't want to worry about all those angles. If you can just have your Reaper walk in, get aggressive, use those bubbles to find a pick or find damage, and Zarya walks in with, I think that is a perfect dynamic. So I don't think they want to worry about these extra angles. as we saw, these guys get a little freaky, so I don't know what map they might choose some random map out of thin air. Mm, yeah, exactly. So they're freaky. You guys are freaky. Yeah, that's why I give up. I just do it because it's fun, not because I'm think I'm gonna be right. Because I know I ain't gonna be right at all. They're gonna choose like Savasa or something. And they're gonna win it too. Watch, they're gonna win it as well because it just makes sense. Yep. So it is what it is, bro. It is what it is, man. We live or die by being incorrect. If we're correct, we just die immediately. Speaking of being correct, we're gonna see what map they chose so we can see if I'm correct or incorrect or whatnot. Are you still deciding? Going on sitting here for 84 hours. I get it though. It gotta be a good map you choose. Yeah, of course. Your microphone? Mm. How'd you break it? How did you break it? How'd you do that? Mm, mm. Tape maybe? Mm. I don't know either, but it's my best guess. Huh. Hey, they chose Kings, so I predicted that one. I predicted that. I'll take it. I'll take what I can. Let my cat outside. Hold on. There you go. But so wait, the bands you said Andromeda banned Ramatra or Lunar banned Ramatra? Okay, Lunar Eclipse banned Ramatra. That does make a lot of sense. But then banning Reaper, that's gonna hurt. I mean, that's Dino Dan's. We saw last series. I mean, Dino Dan on Kings Row might be a villain. He might be like Doctor Doom. And so yeah, can I could yeah, yes. You're good. But one thing, I do wonder though, like Lunar Eclipse's team comp, it's gonna be different. We know it's gonna be different. We're expecting it to be different because they don't have that Reaper. And we see it is very different. And Bastion may. I mean Bastion with the recent buff. I mean, honestly, both teams running Bastion with falling solo on Bastion and then using Hyper on Bastion as well. I do think the map and more so the buff, the fire rate buff, I do think does make Bastion a bit more consistent with damage. So I see why they're running it. Though Nazaria again. And again, like one of the problems that they don't have a perfect bubble target. They have like the Bastion, potentially, maybe the Lucio even can bubble, but they don't have someone like a Genji or Reaper that can really use the bubble and get aggressive and take space. For Spiral, Andromeda Spiral, though, they're kind of on like a really pokey bunker top with the Bastion, Ashe, Orisa, Wu Yang, Bap. I feel like a lot of good poke, a lot of good angles, and just a pretty decent amount of sustain as well with the Orisa and the Bap. Um, that's unlucky. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're against Zarya, but again, it's just that amount of poke that Startle has. You're gonna peek through and you're gonna shred through all your bubbles before you even get a chance to walk in with it. So I don't know how much is gonna work, but I guess we'll as the series goes, we'll figure it out. Yeah, I mean, it worked there. It did work there. It did work there, and I do see, obviously, just if Vert can just get charged, they just walk in 1,000 charge. They kinda shut through anything. But the main issue they're gonna, especially on a point like this where, Mei does work better here, and because they have a lot of ults going into this fight, having a Bastion ult, the Mei ult, I do see them, you know, having the ult advantage to some extent. The only problem is that the poke on getting through this underpass is so difficult. And because they don't really have anything to clear space with, they're forced to use an ultimate. Because they have no space. They're kind of like on his backside. They have no space. So they're going to swing out really hard with an ult or two to maybe get past it. Or just walk for free anyway. And the issue I figured, I mean, this point's always difficult for any team to push, no matter who you are or what team comp you're on, and this is not an exception. But to having this Bastion and Ashe and Wu Yang gaming to an extent with the Orisa constantly applying pressure, you're gonna meet so much pushback pushing through this underpass. And so the ult's usage are gonna be Lunar Eclipse's rise or fall going into this. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, it just stopped the rotation. Anything you can do to stop someone, stop a rotation halfway through is good enough. And Bob was, even though, to be to be to be fair, kind of a weird Bob to say the least. I mean, it still split them. It does sound nice. Um, it's not nice. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's a good result. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, Demon. I mean, we were seeing that from our series from Raptor, though. Raptor is an incredible tank. They're making space, they're doing damage, they're finding picks, they're making like, they're doing it all. It all for this team, and everyone else is kinda working around them. Lunar Eclipse, though, struggling. They're struggling to push past this, and for this fight, all they have is window, and there's 1 minute left. Oh my god, and they do it again. Yeah, and I don't even see the diva. I feel like the diva. I feel like I would understand if it's like maybe like third point, first point. The second point, it's not high ground doesn't matter too much. It matters, but you kind of want to meet that front to back, and instead of kind of like forcing these weird rotations. Where are they going? Are they going top? What are they accomplishing here with this rotation? Usually after three. All right, never mind. My bad. Never mind. Never mind. Was not familiar with your game, Lunar Eclipse. I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry. In this fight, though, Lunar Eclipse don't really have anything on lock. Andromeda Spiral, they have 3 ults above 90%, having the Bastion ult that they're popping early. They're not even touched, though. They just use Bastion ult and not even able to touch. Yeah, but I mean, the good thing is, though, they have a lot of ults. They have everything but this window. Oh, they swapped to Kiri, so I guess they don't have window at all. They have Rush, which I have 50% only, though. But I mean, again, I feel like this point can be work a bit better for D.Va. At least you have something to use. I can use fly on high grounds, take that space, be aggressive, shoot from above. So maybe the D.Va I can see the D.Va now. I see the D.Va. It might work, but this Bob is going to be a problem. And they're stalling it now. There's only 30 seconds left. And a replay? You have replays this whole time and you never use them? They don't even work. They don't even work. Yeah, sorry, why? Man, what are we doing here? Oh, there it is. Yeah, this play was insane. Insane. Oh, unbelievable. Nah, it was really good. Nah, it was really good. But I mean, I guess that's kind of like, that's just what Raptors doing. They've been doing that whole series. I mean, even the fight right after that, fighting this first pick on Danodan, right before the fight even started, like Raptors just they're that guy. It's what they are. Like, a lot of what Andromeda Spiral is trying to do and what's working for them is because Raptors able to create this space and apply the pressure and just be a solid rock for these guys to walk around and do things around as they kind of sit there and don't die. Um, A lot of their plans, it seems like kinda not necessarily live or die by Raptor, but it seems like a lot of their plans are excelled if Raptors are able to perform the way that they have been. As for Lunar Eclipse, I mean, I see the May vision, and I do see the Zarya, but I honestly do think if you're gonna play Diva, it is on this point. This point is really good for Diva, but it's not on Zarya, which I don't think is needed for their team comp and the way they wanna play. I feel like something a bit more not necessarily brawly, but something that doesn't require a bubble or require uptime, like Zarya, for example, I feel like might benefit. I mean, if you can bubble the escape, I mean, it could work, it might be good, but I don't know how much they're gonna be able how I don't know how much they're gonna be able to get away with that. I mean, yeah, I do think Spyro's team comp, they're just quick, aggressive, they're quick, they get in your face, and that's a problem. That's gonna be an issue, and I feel like the switches we see Sombra down into the Sombra, Vert, on the Diva, it allows you to keep up with Spiral's aggression and their pace, and I feel that's definitely good switches leading into this. Yeah. Limits are pushing it, they're not doing anything. They're already at the final, final stretch to cap. Yeah, and the now switch to Venture, down to the Venture, I mean, I don't necessarily hate the idea, but also do think, the only way you can really play is just kinda deny the hazard and annoy the hazard from doing anything. I also think too, playing against this Venture and Sojourn comp, you're just gonna dig in and just take so much damage, you're not really gonna go in anything. You're kinda just gonna be going in and out for essentially no reason. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. I mean, the good thing is that Lunar Eclipse won, and even though Andromeda Spiral had 5 minutes to cap this point, third point on any hybrid point is or hybrid map, sorry, it's always difficult to cap, and I mean, so far they're proving it. They have 2 minutes to go, and I mean, that's, 3, 4 fights, that's not too bad. The only thing here is that they gotta make sure the ult rotation is flawless. They play perfect, and that's a good start, picking off Dorcas early on. I mean, yeah, you have the Surge, you have the Rush, you have the Carry, I mean, beat. Yeah, I mean. Mhm. Yeah, but I don't know, what one started as a 5.5 minute advantage. Now they're in 30 seconds. This is the final fight, and Andromeda have nothing. They have not a singular ult, and the closest ult is Kiriko Rush at 52%. My Lunar Eclipse, they have this Sojourner from using Yapper. This is looking very rough for Andromeda Spiral. Piano Dance down too. What just happened? That was not a C9, that was a 5v2. You cannot C9 that. What even happened? I'm trying to figure out how they even died in that last fight. Like, what even I'm actually watching it right now. I need to see what happened because they had the space, they had the advantage, and they kind of just, like, fall apart. Oh, I see. Dino Dan they just got too aggressive. No, it wasn't even that. Dino Dan died, like, before the DMAC even happened. I think, yeah, I think Dino get got a bad aggro. Got a little bit aggro. It happens, though. I do get it, but I think Dino Dan's aggression just got to him, and I feel like that's it's one of those things where you don't want that pressure to get to you last second. And, you kinda, like, overthink steps, or maybe you don't think enough about your steps, and you let the pressure get to you and you lose the fight. Like, that's not it happens to everybody, but, now because of that, because of, those very small mistakes, you're now on to match point, and, if you lose this next map, you're out. Not just out, loser back, you're out of the tournament entirely. Mhm. So, Aura? Mhm, mm. I get it, bro. I get it, man. Mhm. Well, I mean, it was way closer than Busan, so I think they're on the right track. I honestly think they could have won that map. I think it was just a minor mistake, but I do believe going towards maps that allow you to play more front to back do benefit you, and shown that it was closer. And the team comps that um Lunar Clips want to play are less on angles and more on just how good can you live. And I do think a map like College Runasapi, honestly, even though it's a bit angle heavy, I think they played it last time. We saw them do pretty dang well last time on a map like that. Also, Circuit wouldn't be a bad shout. Um, they played it last time. It was a little rough, but definitely closer than the other ones were. So I do think Circle Valley could be a good exception for them as well. And it kind of relies on your DPS to, it's a DPS map, which, the team with the better DPS wins that map basically. Not entirely, but it's kind of how it goes. Also, the weight, a good, consistent, reliable tank works on circuit too. And, maybe they're confident in Vert. Maybe they think Vert, is that guy and can just go in there, do their thing on Sigma or Orisa or whoever they have Vert on. But I don't really know. I don't know what map they could lean towards. There's a few different options, but it's kind of a playstyle thing over a map thing, I guess. Okay, what, bro? Okay. Give them a happy birthday. Wait, are they gonna get the birthday buff now? They're down 2 maps on Dino Dan's birthday. They might get the birthday buff. We might have just given the birthday buff by saying that. Mm, uh, mhm. Sombra? Huh. Um, hmm. I'm trying to think on. I mean, Dino Dan can play Sombra, and I guess because it's Dorado of all maps, they might have assumed Dino Dan was gonna play Sombra because I mean, honestly, I think the only other character we've seen him play was Genji. Does Dinodan play Tracer? I don't even think. I think Gapper plays Tracer. I don't think Dinodan plays Tracer though. I think it's just. I don't think they played Tracer at all last series. But these bans. I mean, I do wonder if they could have banned different things, especially on the side of Lunar Eclipse. But I also, I mean, sorry. I mean, yeah, no, I was right on the side of Lunar Eclipse. But I do think though that they still make sense. I feel like they still work. And we load out these team comps. I mean, the Echo does not surprise me. They put Echo last map, and they showed a lot of good things, a lot of good moments. So I do think the Echo from Fallen Solo makes sense. On Southern Eclipse on this Diva, this team comp, I feel they're on the Diva, the Sojourn. That's like default characters for those two. The Venture from Danodan, I do worry about the potential it can get because on a map like this, you're gonna be using a lot of abilities to get on top of high grounds. And against this Ash Echo combo, you're gonna be you're gonna be meeting hell trying to get anywhere against that Ash Echo on Venture because you don't have the instant blinks. You can't push cart that well. Like it's gonna be real difficult. Yeah, and I do think even though the first pick came out from Dino, I do think, again, the problems that I was talking about before happened again, where it's just even though they have super broad potential, Andromeda Spiral has so much poke on a map where poke is, you know, I know more beneficial. They're gonna have to do so much work on the side of Lunar Eclipse to just clear distance to get close enough to Andromeda Spiral for this venture to work, for this diva to work, for this, this backline to work. Mhm. You know, I agree. I agree. I do think though they have a lot. So I mean, you press Q, I'm gonna lose. How good is it? Is Raptor Korean? He's half Korean. I give him that. They're half Korean. I give him half of it. Yeah, and I mean, 32 seconds left. I mean, this defense from Spiral is looking more than phenomenal. Is looking, I mean, perfect. And even though Lunar Clips are going to use ults, I don't know how much of it's going to affect this defense on the side of Andromeda Spiral. And I mean, the most to use the hurt more hurts because this Bob is going to hurt them real bad going into this. Wow. Yeah, but you know, for it to be match point, series point for the tournament lives of both teams, that last, you know, that attack was the worst outcome they could have had. Because now they don't, Andromeda Spiral do not have to do that much to win this series. Not even just cap, but to win this series. Lunar Eclipse, though, this is going to be, they're going to have to make sure that pressure, they cannot fold under it. I mean, they have to hold Andromeda Spiral for 4 minutes to the bridge, which is not that far. That's like 30, that's like 20 seconds of pushing the cart, maybe 30 to get it there. And they gotta hold it for 4 minutes. Yeah, I mean, they gotta get the touch. Yeah, that touch is more important than anything else afterwards. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, Giannis Bauer playing extremely well. I mean, especially Raptor, in my opinion. I think Raptor, if we're talking about MVPs, I mean, that might be my MVP. I think Raptor was incredible this series. I think they made the jobs of the DPS and the lives of the DPS so much easier by just being the anchor and someone that, is reliable, does their job, and can do more than just their job. They can find picks, they can make plays, they can win a fight by themselves. There's so much they can do, but they're able to do all of it on top of just being a solid tank. And, I look at Lunar Eclipse and, last series they did reverse sweep. It was really good. But I do think with how this series was kind of starting out and how it ended, I guess it was Lunar Eclipse just could never really get their footing in. They could never find their footing. They were so close on King's Road, but they couldn't finish the job. And on that last map, we saw like they let their foot off the gas fully, and it was a they did the best they could. That defense, they won a fight. They stalled it for long enough that I think like it was 2 minutes or something, but it they had not enough gas, and they lost. So it was a good attempt on the side of Lunar Eclipse. I mean, they got here to finish third place. So obviously they did a really good job this season, but you do wonder like could there have been more? Could there have been more to them, or was this all they had? Raptor. Yeah, that's my goat. That's my goat. Yeah, I'm a tank player, man. I'm biased. I'm not biased, but I do think like a lot of what they could have done was because of Raptor and how not just strong but confident they were on that tank role to play against Itzvert and just I mean pulling off the I mean honestly looking like a really strong tank and one of the best tanks I've seen in this division so far, to be honest. Hmm. Yeah, get a minute. Mm.
Hello. Thank you. Yes, we are very excited for that. Good. We it's a little change of pace. We play a little slower, knowing that this team likes to punish a lot, so we had to play a little slower, keep it a little calmer compared to what we've been doing, which is fastest tempo we can find, doing anything, just going as fast as we can. So yeah, um, we had Kobe playing great out there because of his chicken parm. He had a chicken parm beforehand. He dedicated the win to that. Yes, he did. Yeah, that's what I said. But, you know, so he was doing great out there, getting all the picks we needed before the fight start. We were able to stabilize mid-fight, keep up, and, just live through all the damage they were doing. It was everything with the game plan. Yeah. 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 To be fair, I have team blindness. I don't know what team I'm playing even in the middle of the game. So, I I'm pretty sure we've, looked at some stuff about them, but, I can't confirm. I yes. Yeah, yeah, just unfortunate events. They played a better game than us. We shall come back and do that. So, I'm excited. We will get some good sleep tonight.
I hate to go backwards, but I do want to go backwards because I want to talk about it. I mean, I will talk about Lunar Eclipse because, we went into this state. They had such a phenomenal game the last series. I mean, were you expecting it to be that way? For you guys to not
Uh,
just win, but to kind of like dominate the entire series?
uh, control, yes. We've done so much practice on those comps and doing it how we want to play on control. Yes, we expect it to be a 2-0,
Mhm.
just not like half our team not dying.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Um,
these guys are invincible almost.
Yeah, we were expecting we like this all went to what we planned out. So
Mhm,
everything it kind of fell into our hands, I would like to
mhm,
say. Everything was mapped out from there.
mhm,
So I mean, it pretty much did go the way we wanted to.
mhm,
So I wasn't completely worried about this game. So
mhm.
I
Okay.
we played it how we wanted to.
That's good planning. That's what we call that, good planning right there. Y'all figured it out. Y'all had it before. You had a game plan.
Yeah, we had
Y'all,
a game plan
y'all,
going in.
y'all. I mean, obviously it showed. You guys played
Yeah.
not. You guys played phenomenal. That was a great game out of all of you, not just you,
Yes.
because I know you're the
Yeah.
MVP. Because I
Yeah.
basically forced down Caustic's throat to make you MVP, but the rest of you guys all did good. I'm being dramatic. I know. I'm being dramatic. I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, the Orisa. Oh, well, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, the plan there was, wait for their turn to be done, and they popped Mail, which kinda ends their turn instantly. So I walked in, popped my ult, yelling at them the whole time to break Immort because they already wasted all their movement abilities. So I was
Yeah.
yelling at them to break Immort the whole time, and it just happened to be perfect amount of time. The Zard popped her bubble a little too early and died to it. That's basically how it went. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because yeah, mainly because there's so much movement in the game at this point in time, especially how fast the games become. It's mainly because of that. Everything has so much movement. Like you got bat boops, you got amp speed, you got What else is there? There's so much. It's just yeah. Probably our control. I would like to say that we played each part perfectly as we should. It went exactly to plan. Everything was mapped out from the start. Pretty much 99-0 on both the points. I'm happy. That's all I can be. That's the most happy I've been.
I do have one more question. We asked this a couple I think we asked this a week or 2 ago, and the answer we got was Biba Doobie for some unknown reason. If you're what song do you listen to go in to your match? Bro, took it from you, dork. Took it from you, dork.
Sorry, say it one more time. I'm
What
deaf.
song do you go into when you go into a match or like your intro
Wh-
warm-up song?
Mm.
Yeah, that's a trashy word,
So
but
let
we'll
me
use
let me
that.
find the person that creates it.
Creates it. What do you mean? You
Yeah,
don't
I
know the
don't know the
song?
exact. I don't know the
Okay,
exact.
okay,
Bang
so you don't
Bang
even know
by Karn
it.
by Karn. Bang Bang by
Karn?
Karn. Yeah, C comma Naan,
You said C, comma.
or not comma. Whatever it's called. The other one. I don't know.
A Con, I gotta find this now. Hold on. What was it
No, no,
again?
no.
You
It's
said
peak. Trust.
Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Oh, like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The one from, the one anime, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mashi, something like that? I know what you're talking about. I like that song.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I
that's
that's what I
good.
usually go into, and then my backup's
That
like sea shanties during the game.
that might actually be a terrible warm-up song, but whatever, bro. Whatever, bro. Is the way to do
Well,
for a tank player to be good is listen to terrible music? I mean, Jesus.
apparently,
So
that's
what
what I've
is
been
their
told by
music
my
taste?
friends. That's what I've been
Oh
told by
my
my
god,
teammates and my
that
friends.
is yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not gonna
sounds
lie,
about
that
right.
is a yeah, that's okay.
Oh, orange. You should see my
Get
game
him out of
colors.
here.
It's
Get him out
dark
of here,
orange and light
bro.
orange.
Get him out of
Enemy
here. You're just making
My
me
team's
mad
dark
now.
orange, the enemy team's light orange.
This is not my MVP. Get this dude out of here. This is not my MVP.
I've ruined my reputation, dang,
Sea
okay,
shanties
whatever.
and sea shanties and the favorite color is orange. Get them out of here, please.
Okay, well,
Oh
y'all
my
have a good
goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, yep,
Mhm.
yes, tune in.
Mhm.
Thank you. We Yes, we will, we will. Have a good night, y'all.
Mhm. 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 Thanks, man. Bye bye.